failed. I'm just getting myself together. I'm about to go in garage and put this Decat pipe that I've got onto the Triumph. Read a fair number of reviews and most people rave about the Triumph, but a lot of people that have done a few modifications, one of the things they've done is a Decat, which helps with the engine breathing and a little bit freer, but also it reduces the heat build up in the exhaust. So as much as I've not had a major problem with the heat against my leg, a lot of people have said that by decatting the pipe, then it reduces the heat build up. But the biggest advantage is it lets the engine breathe a little bit freer, so it revs a little bit quicker. So yeah, I'll just show you what we've got. It's the free spirit system, which most people seem to rate. And one of the things I'm going to do is weigh the replacement part and then weigh the part that comes off, because one of the other spin-offs, if you like, advantages is that it's a lot lighter than the original. So and there you have it. That's the kit and instructions as it comes, or the Decat pipe. What I'm going to do before we go and fit it, I'm actually going to put this on the kitchen scales. A lot of the reviews that I've been reading say how much lighter it is than the original pipe that you take off with the catalytic converter connected. So I'm going to put this on the scales and weigh it, and then whenever we move the other part, I'm going to weigh that and we can work out the difference. So okay, let's put this on the scales. Okay, they have the scales, got them set to grams, showing 0. It's 1.117 kilograms, or 1,117 grams, whichever way you want to say it. So yeah, when we get the cat off, we'll put that on the scales and weigh that, and then we can do a comparison and work out how much the weight saving is. Okay, let's go and get it fitted. Right, here we are in garage, just about to start taking the old exhaust, or the catalytic converter off the front section of the exhaust. Okay, and then get the new Decat pipe installed. All right, just a quick run through what needs to be done. I've watched a couple of videos, I've got the instructions. Hopefully it's going to be fairly straightforward, and one of the joys of working on new bikes or newish bikes is everything's still fairly easy to take apart, he says, fingers crossed. So just run through what needs to be done and then we'll crack on and do it. Okay, first step is to take off these heat shields. Okay, this one here, I believe these are all 5mm Allen key heads. Alright, so I've got the 5mm out. Don't think we need to take those off. Behind here there's some clips. Here we've got a couple of, I think it looks like a 12 there and there. I think there's something behind somewhere that holds the two together that we've got to get to. Alright, then we can take these off. These come off individually as far as I know, these two silencers. Okay, that heat shield needs to come off. Then once we've got those off, okay, we can take the pipe off. We then need to undo these two. Behind here, I've just had a quick look, and apparently they say it's awkward to get to, and you know what, it's going to be awkward to get to. But behind there, somewhere, right in there, there's another clamp that's held with an Allen stud, and we've also got to take the lambda sensor out, which you can't. You need to take that off first to get to the lambda sensor. So fairly straightforward, he says. Obviously time consuming in that there's quite a few bits and pieces to take off, but yeah, it shouldn't take too long. We should be able to tell from the video approximately how long it's taken me. So I'm going to set the camera up to film me doing it. I'm not going to bore you with showing you the whole footage probably, but if I get into any bits and pieces that are a little bit tricky, then I'll explain to you what we've done or what we've had to do. But let's start with the disassembly. Okay, so memory serves me right, these two first. There shouldn't be anything on here at this stage that's really tightly torqued down, so it should come apart reasonably easily. Okay, they've come out easy enough. Okay, I believe this is a two-piece, so yeah, two-piece heat shield, inner and the outer, which is double skinned. Okay, it allows a bit of an air gap to help dissipate the heat. Just stick that out the way when we're not going to stand on it, trip up. So we've got a clamp there and one there for the other heat shield. Get this one off. Okay. All the bits I'm taking off I'm putting into this little tray here just to try and make life a little bit easy for myself. Okay. Yep. Frame over to one side. Don't know if you can see that from up there, we'll have a proper look, but that's basically what we're trying to eliminate, that big box there. Big, it's not massive, but that box there. So onto these, loosen this one first. That way, looks like a 12. Again, I'm going to keep all the tools to one side just so that I've got a record of what we've used. And washer, apparently there's a top hat under that. Ah, there. There was one that I've missed. There's a 5mm Allen bolt at the back of that holds the two pipes together there. Which, yeah. Okay. That's off. Right. The clamp's preventing it coming off. There we go, that's the top hat that you've got to remember. Okay, so one, again, just to help when we put it back together, I try and keep things together that came apart together. Again, another 12mm. Yep. Take the lower pipe off. There's another clamp there that you can't get to until you've got the top one off. I'm not trying to rush this to show how quick it can be done. I'm taking my time as such, but so far there's nothing that's going to tax anybody with the basic mechanical skills. Okay, you've got a gas tight seal there that you've just got to be a little bit careful you don't damage. Let's put these so I remember which one's which. We don't try and fit the wrong one. Okay, let's just make sure we're not going to lose anything as well. Alright, so moving on now. These two next, and these, yep. Not very tight at all these. I think the torque setting, from what I can remember in the video I watched, is 19 Newton meters, which is not very tight at all. It's just enough to crush the copper washer give you a gas tight seal and prevent them from vibrating off. Okay, the exhaust collect's a two-piece affair, quite clever. Okay, how it overlaps and interlocks. I think just remembering which goes on first is the problem, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, the cutaway for the lambda sensor is the giveaway. Yeah, I think that's a 17mm, and I've got to try and get into that, which is going to be fun. Okay, let's find the 17mm. There you are, first attempt. That's quite okay. Let's crack that off. I'm going to get that other one undone first. Okay, but yeah, in there is where I've got to get to. Right down there. Okay. Okay, that's the old one off. That clamp was loose enough for me to slide it off without slackening that off. I was struggling to get an Allen key onto that in any way, shape or form. I was probably going to have to cut one down, but as it happens, it has slid off without any major effort. I think I probably need to use the gasket that's in there. Okay, there we are. That's the exhaust gasket that I'm going to have to put into this. Oh no, I'm guessing it doesn't need one. That's okay, that's a straight fit. Looking at that, maybe I ought to read the instructions. Okay, reading the instructions, yeah, basically it just slips straight on. You don't need to use the gasket. What we have got to do is take these clips off here. These which allow the covers to fasten on. That one's not wanting to come off, but it will do. So these fit onto here. Let's try and centralise those. Get the holes lined up. And the other one. Okay. So one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just test fit this one. Okay, what I've done, because that's a bit awkward to try and get that heat shield on, I'm going to see if I can refit it with the heat shield in place. Okay, just double check that's all. Yeah, something like. Okay, right, so there we go. So that's all going to work. Right, I'm going to refit the lambda sensor before I put it in, even if I don't tighten it up. What you're going to have to do is twist the lambda sensor. I think there was approximately 5 turns in getting it off, so that should now tighten up without too much of a kink. Yep. Okay. Bit of a jiggle and a wiggle. Okay. Sorted. Okay. So far, so good. Right, now, that's actually a 10mm ratchet. Okay. Right, I'm going to nip that up after I've got everything else on. Alright. So, exhaust manifold bolt. Oh, hang on. One thing I do need to tighten up before I do that, the lambda sensor needs to be tightened because you can't get to it before you put that on. After all that, let's yeah, at least with an idea what we're doing now. Okay, let's this needs to be fairly tight because you need a gas tight seal, but not over tightening it to damage the threads. Okay, in we go. Right, I did mention at the start of this video what a delight it is to work on bikes that are fairly new, because everything comes apart and goes together so easily. Right, just there we go. Right, the bottom one first. There we go. Okay, let's get the usual problem, can't find the hole. There we go. I'll just, again, many years ago when I was in the motorcycle trade as a salesperson, I spent a lot of time in the workshop, and one of the tips I did learn from the technicians, we used to fit a lot of aftermarket exhaust back in those days, end cans, full systems, that sort of thing. One thing that I was always told was loose fit everything, then tighten from the back forwards. So that's more or less what I'm going to do. This clamp, because once I get the nest pipe on, I won't be able to get to this one I am going to tighten. What you've got to just be careful, if you don't get this in the right position, you'll not get the top pipe on, because it will be getting in your way of sliding the upper pipe on. Okay, now, because this is effectively a gas tight seal, I'm going to reasonably tight. There we go. I think that should do it for now. Right. Okay. Make sure I've got that's in the right place. We've got a clip on there. Okay, this one. Just going to bend this clip out a little bit. Typical, top hat's fallen out, so just that fraction of a millimetre. Just need to loosen that one that I told you needs to be careful with. Yeah, I've had to loosen it to give me that extra fraction. Okay. Right. Seriously. Right, I've just got this one to get in at the back. So before we tighten all that up, this one's guarantee it's going to be a pain to line up. Here we have. Okay, just okay. So, one thing I didn't do, bring the keys to start it. Right. So, from the back forward. Okay, I've got to get this last heat shield lined up as well. Okay, I said 19 Newton meters, so a little bit at a time on each one. One, just to check. There you go, 19 Newton meters. Okay, and finally that one. Okay, there we have it. Just got the last two and the heat shield fit. There you go. To be fair, alright, some of the clips had got a little bit bent in transit, but it's testament to the quality of that Free Spirit high pipe that everything has lined up so well and gone back on so well. It's just don't want to over tighten, because obviously comes the point you need to take it apart as well. So there you have it. I'm going to go and get the keys and start it up. I'll just put that there. But before I do that, just going to, as I promised. So, okay, that's the old catalytic part of the pipe off. That's basically the tools that I've used. 17mm spanner, 5mm Allen key, and a 12mm socket and a 10mm spanner. I used an extension, it just helped get into most of the places, and obviously a ratchet as well, half-inch ratchet, but there you have it. Alright, that's the cat off and on the scales, and hopefully you can see that. So the original part weighs 2,567 grams, 2.56 kilograms. So you're saving nearly 1.5 kilograms, 1.4 kilograms in weight. So not masses, but every little bit helps. Quick look at the exhaust now it's in place. And you see, basically, you can't really see anything different, but it does look sweet. All right, let's just fire it up and just see how it's going. Hey, give it a try. There you go. To be fair, at that, it doesn't actually sound much different to what it did before. Obviously I'll give it a ride and we'll review it, how it performs on a test ride, but if I'm being honest, I just put the microphone close to the exhaust. Not that bad at all. Just double check we've not got any abnormal lights. The only thing flashing is the ABS light, obviously. So everything else is in order. Yeah, put it away for now. Take it for a test ride in a bit. There you have it. As always, do remember, I am the Barnsley biker. Please like, please subscribe, and until next one, steady.